question you can ask me.
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
fine. Let me share my screen. Just let me know if you are able to see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
it's our third session. So let's start with the the views which you will see. Let's suppose I believe that you guys have already installed Power BI Desktop on your machine, right?
Yes,
So
Yes, sir.
sir.
once you install it, you will get the first page right there. Let me open Power BI Desktop as well at my end. Just a second. You will see there are three views over there on your left, which is one is your report view where you will design all of your reports, right? The next is the data view from where you can see what all data you have imported in your Power BI report PBIX file, right? And there is one more relationship view where you can basically create relationships between multiple tables, right? I think Power BI desktop got opened. Just a second. Okay. So you can see this is called like if I am on this particular page, right? You're seeing add data to your report once loaded your data. This is the visualization pane where you can simply select any particular visualization, right? And if you have the data imported, right? Currently I haven't imported any data. So you will get all the tables over here and what are the columns under that particular table. It would be there. You just need to simply drag and drop it over here to create the chart, or maybe you can drag it to access legend values based upon the data attribute, right? And if you select this, so you will be able to see the complete table which you have imported, and it would be available over here, the names. But if you want to see the schema of the table, like the structure of the table, what all columns are there, what are the different values in those columns, you can be able to see that from the table view, right? And this is also called data view or table view. This is called your report view, and this is called your model view or relationship view, right? So if you select it over here, let's suppose you have multiple tables. These table would be connected with one to many relationship or many to many or one to one. It depends how do you like to filter the data, right? So this is the view. So let's suppose what I'll do, I'll come over here. This is the button, right? Get data, through which I can simply, these are some of the common data sources which is available with us as a connector, through which you can import your data, whatever you have, in the source, at the source level. So you can uh, basically import that data, or if you want to have a direct connection with that data source, you can do that. If you want to have live connection, you can do that, right? Let me move on to this. Okay, before that, before we move on to the Power Query editor level, or maybe importing the data whatever we have, right? Let me inform you about the building blocks of Power BI, right? This is also a frequent question which generally interviewer ask you, what are the building blocks of Power BI? So you can see the building blocks of Power BI are visualization, dataset, reports, dashboard, and tile, right? And what a visualization is like, whatever basically visualization you will create. It could be a pie chart, it could be a bar chart, clustered bar chart, gauge chart, right? All these are your visualization. A single visual which you will select, that would be a visualization. You can consider that as a visualization. The next is data set. What is a data set? Let's suppose if you import Excel file or CSV file, or maybe you imported some data from SQL Server or Oracle. The sources could be any, but when you import it, right, you are importing the complete data into the Power BI file, into the Power BI report, right? That report is called PBIX file. The extension of the report is PBIX, just like the extension of an Excel file is .xlxs, right? So for Power BI, it is .pbix file. So once you import data from a data source, right, whatever data you imported, that is called a data set. And that is stored in your Power BI report as a data set, that particular data. That is called data set. What is a report? Whatever, you created basically you imported data set, you created, calculated columns or measures with the help of DAX. You also created visualization in that report. So when multiple visualization on a single page, or there are multiple pages in a Power BI report, that is called reports. What is dashboard then? A dashboard is a collection of different tiles from multiple Power BI reports in a workspace, that is called dashboard. So how a dashboard is differ from report? Report can have just one single data set, right? Through which you are getting the data in a particular Power BI report. However, dashboard is a collection of multiple visualization from multiple reports in a single workspace. That is called a dashboard. Okay. And what is a tile? So a visualization in Power BI service is defined as tile. You can consider it as tile. If you and in the dashboard you have to pin the visualization as tile. That is called tile. Are you guys getting it?
No, sir. Sir, do not understand tile.
Okay. So because currently I don't have Power BI service account. Once we move to Power BI service, I have to give you the demo for Power BI service. There I'll let you know like what is style if I can. So okay, so let's don't consider it a Power BI desktop file. Okay, this is the visualization. Let's suppose this is the, or maybe this is the pie chart, right? If I select the pie chart in Power BI service, which is the cloud environment of Power BI, right? I would get some options in the header of the this particular pie chart. There's one option to pin the tile, right? So that this particular visualization, if I what I'll do, I'll just pin this visualization as a tile in the dashboard. That is called a tile, right? You can consider it in the way, in a dashboard it is a collection of multiple visualization, right? Each visualization in the dashboard is called tile. Now you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In Power BI report, these are visualization. You can consider these are visualization. This bubble chart is a visualization. That is some called it bubble chart, some called it scatter chart, right? This scatter chart is a visualization. The map is a visualization, right? This clustered bar chart is a visualization. Pie chart, cards, visualization, these are called visualization. But yes, when we are pinning this visualization in the dashboard, those are called tiles, right? And collection of multiple visualization of multiple tiles in a in a so that is called dashboard. Collection of multiple tiles or collection of multiple visualization, right? That is called dashboard.
Okay.
And this could be from multiple reports, right? Let's suppose you have a workspace over there, right? In the workspace you have multiple reports, right? In for one report the data is coming from one source, right? Or you are showing a different kind of analysis in one report, you are showing different kind of analysis in your other report. And in the dashboard it's a kind of 360 degree view of everything what you are doing, right? What your organization is doing. They can you can pin the tile from one particular report and from other particular report as well in the same dashboard, in a single dashboard. But both the reports should be in the single workspace.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, hi Deepak.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I have one question here.
Mhm.
Tile is, I mean, what you in your sense, each visualization in dashboard is called tile, right? You say.
Yeah.
In dashboard only we call tile whatever the data we have pushed into visualization. That visualization we called only tile, right? In dashboard
Yeah.
only.
Yeah. In dashboard only.
Uh,
So basically, like in
okay,
reports as well,
okay,
like
okay.
if you there are some
Like, yes,
headers
yes,
in
I have.
visual header, right? There is an option of pin, right? Where
Yes.
you can pin the visualization as a tile in the dashboard, right? So whatever visualization you are seeing in the dashboard, those are called tile.
Okay, okay, okay.
However,
Yeah.
those visualization in the Power BI report, those are called visualization.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah. Thank you, Deepak.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I'll take it as no. Everything is clear to you guys. So, what are the modes of connectivity in Power BI, right? I'll show you as well. And first, let me clear what are different modes of connectivity in Power BI. One is your import mode, right? There are some sources which is available only with import mode. You cannot have direct query mode with Excel, CSV, right? But yes, with SQL Server, you can connect via import mode as well, via direct query as well, right? And there is another mode which is called live connection. Somehow direct query and live connection are same because both of the connect with both of the connection you can see the real time data, right? The live data, you can say if there is any update in the data source, it will be reflected at the same time, right? That is why that is called live connection or direct query mode.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So how import mode is different from direct query mode? Do you guys know? If you have, if you know about this thing earlier as well?
No, Deepak.
No. Okay. So import mode is very common connectivity mode in Power BI. First of all, it can be of any kind of data source, right? It can be SQL Server, Excel, CSV, Oracle. So once we load the data through import mode, it will import complete data into the Power BI desktop and store it as a Power BI dataset, which we discussed earlier as a dataset, right? However, in direct query mode, we cannot load data in Power BI desktop. We are just creating connection with the data source and the data resides in the source itself, right? You're not importing or you are not getting the complete data in the Power BI desktop file in direct mode. You're just creating a connection, right, with your data source so that whatever data is there, you can see that over here in Power BI desktop as visualization only. You are not importing the complete data set, right? So what are the scenarios, first of all, when we should go for a direct query? So we can go for a direct query, especially if we have huge amount of data and if we cannot load everything to the Power BI desktop, right? Then only we should go for a direct query mode because import mode is much faster than direct mode basically. And moreover, there are some limitations with direct mode in terms of DAX functions. Some of the DAX functions is not compatible with direct mode. You cannot use it, right? So if you have the very huge amount of data and you cannot load everything to Power BI desktop like in import mode, then because if you are holding Power BI Pro license, you have a limitation of you can publish a Power BI report of 1 GB. Like 1 GB should be your PBIX file size. If that is more than 1 GB, you cannot publish that particular report into a Power BI Pro license capacity account, right? You must be having a Power BI premium license in order to publish more than 1 GB of PBIX file to any workspace. That workspace should be backed with a with Power BI premium license. That is one thing. So else what you can do, because let's suppose you have a requirement, you don't want to impact the performance, right? Because in direct mode the performance would be impacted because the data is not import the complete data is not at the Power BI desktop file, it is somewhere else in the data source itself. So each time you will change the slicer, it will go to the source and fetch the result out of it. So that is the reason it is very time consuming. So let's suppose you have a requirement, you don't want to get impacted with the performance of the report, then in that case what you can do, you have to opt for a Power BI premium license. So it would cost you more in terms of you have to pay more for that, for a Power BI premium license. But yes, in that case, then you can publish the Power BI report of file size 10 GB, right? The limit got increased from 1 GB to 10 GB file. So, and one more thing, let's suppose there's 1 GB data, right, at the source level. So whenever you are importing the data from the source level to your Power BI file as a Power BI data set, it will be compressed to 1/10, right? So it means that if that is for 1 GB, the file size of a Power BI, if you import the complete data around about 1/10, so your file would become around 100 to 150 MB only, right? It is compressing a lot. The X velocity engine is compressing of Power BI is compressing your file, right? So that is one thing. So why we should go for a direct query mode? There's one more thing when we should go for a direct query mode, when we have to show the real-time analysis, right? Because in import mode, let's suppose you created a particular report and you publish that into the workspace. But yes, with a Power BI Pro account, there is a limit of 8 refreshes, right? You can refresh that report 8 times a day if you are scheduling any refresh, right? You cannot refresh it more than 8 times if you are scheduling the refresh. However, with a premium account, that refresh is of 48 times a day, which means you can refresh your report each half an hour, right? So the thing is that if you are not able to, let's suppose there's some, you are creating a report for crypto or share market, right? Or maybe the telecommunication department, there you have to connect with the direct query mode, because you need data at each single second or maybe at each single minute, right? You want the updated data. So in that case, you have to go for a direct query mode, or maybe you should you should create a SAS cube, right? SQL Server Analysis cube on Azure, anywhere, like you need a cube and then you can connect with live connection to that, because you need real-time analysis, right? Your whatever you want is not be fulfilled with import mode because of some limitation regarding the refresh, right? Else, if that is not the case, you should always stick to the import mode only, because that is much faster than a direct mode or live connection. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Deepak,
What?
here I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
There is a limitation, is there, right? I mean, import and import mode in direct mode based on size.
Yeah.
May know
In direct mode, there is no limitation, right? Because you are not importing any data from your source, right? The data
yes,
resides
yes.
in the source itself. You are just creating a connection. You are just talking to the source. Hey, give me that, this country data, right? So you are each time you are, making change to the slicer or filter on the page, or maybe because your report is quite interactive. If you select any particular visualization, select any data point over there, all the visualization on the page will be filtered based upon that, right? So each time you will do anything on the page, like selecting filter, changing the slicer, whatever, it will it will go to the source and take the data out of there. However, in import mode, everything is in your Power BI desktop file. That is why it is quite faster.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, what my question is, how much amount of data will extract in direct mode? May I know the size? I'm asking size. How much amount of data we extract in direct mode?
No limit. There is no limit.
In import mode?
In import mode, you can import. You can import. There is no limit in that as well, right? But yes, you can import any amount of data. But yes, once you try to publish that into the workspace, okay,
Okay.
which is the Power BI service account, right? If you try to publish it, if the file size of your, let's suppose you imported a data, the file size of that particular report exceeds 1 GB, right?
Okay.
You
Okay.
will not be able to publish that report into a Power BI Pro license account, right? You will not be able to do it because it's a limitation. Yes, if you have a Power BI premium account and you have a Power BI premium backed, workspace over there, you can publish that report over there into that workspace because it is possible. You can publish up to 10 GB of your PBIX file over there.
Okay. Okay.
This is the limitation,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah. Got it.
And let's suppose you have 50 GB of your whatever is the size. I'm talking about the 50 GB in the source level, right? So Power BI will compress that, right? And that 50 GB would become around 600 or 650 MB if you import that complete data in your Power BI report, right? That 50 GB will be converted as 500 to 600 MB file,
Okay.
PBX file,
Okay.
right? Because it compresses. Power BI basically compresses whatever data you are taking it into it. There is no data loss, nothing would be there, but yes, it is compressed.
Okay. Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Shivani, what was your doubt?
No, sir, I have no doubt.
Uh, what's the tool we compress that amount of data in a small size, Deepak?
I believe that is called X velocity engine. I need to check that, right? I'll let you guys know. I think that is X velocity engine, which basically
Okay.
compress. That is
Okay.
same what we have in Power Pivot as well. Like that also do the same thing.
Okay, Deepak.
Yeah. And do you guys have any other question on the same?
No,
Anything
sir.
you don't get it?
No, sir. So direct query mode is different and direct mode is different.
No, no. Direct query mode is same, right?
Okay.
Direct query mode is same with direct mode, right? That is same, not different. Import mode, direct
Okay.
query mode, and the live connection.
So basically, we are direct when we are using direct mode when we are use fetching the data from databases, na?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean,
In both the connection, like the thing is that you have, let me show you. I think this is the file, right? Let me go on more. Uh, so direct query and live connection are same, you can say, because both will report in the basically real-time analysis you can do from both of the things, but live connection is not compatible with each and everything. Like what are the sources you can connect with, via live connection would be your cubes which you create over, SQL Server analysis cube, Azure cube, SharePoint, right? These are all, live connection, and the shared data set. Whatever, you created any particular report, you publish that into the Power BI service, right? What is the data? What's the data set of that particular okay, so what's the data of that particular the file which you have published as a data set, right? There's some data set associated with it. So if you are connecting with that data set, you have to connect via live mode. That is one thing. There are just few sources with which you are connecting, with which you can connect a live connection, right? However, for rest of the things, most of the things are compatible with import mode, like Excel workbook. You can see these are the sources through which we can connect, import mode, right? If I do SQL Server analysis services database, right? This is the connection, right? If I try to connect with this, it will prompt me to connect with live connection. You can see live connection, connect live, right? These are some of the sources like SQL Server analysis services database. So else you will see import and direct query. Let me show you just a second. SQL Server. If I do this, I can either import, I can either use direct query. Else direct query and live connection is quite same, but yes, there are something, a live connection is faster than direct query, but both are real time. Okay, but no comparison with import, because import is much faster, because everything, the data is not in the source now, right? Basically it's in the source as well, but you have imported the complete data in your Power BI desktop as well as a Power BI data set. So each time you make any slicer change on the page, it will not have to go to the source each time, right? It just have to move to the see everything in the Power BI data set, which is already there in the Power BI. That is why it is much faster. So I have downloaded a particular this particular file from the internet. Let me show you what are the option do we get. Okay, let it do. Okay, so what we are seeing over here, this is the the file name over here, and these are 3 tables in that Excel file. Okay, with Excel I don't have any option to select direct query, because we cannot because direct query is only supported where we have the query folding option, right? Where we can go to the source and check the data, right? These are mostly available with databases, because Excel is not a database, it is simply a file, right? So query folding is not possible over there, right? So if you can see,
Sir,
I need,
can we
yeah,
connect our Power BI with NoSQL also? I mean, like Mongo and all.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, you can connect it. Okay, so I have selected orders table. So if I want to preview the table, I can do that. I can simply select on that particular table, right? If I select people, I have the people information. If I select order, I have the order information over there, right? So the most advice is that you should directly not load the data over here. You should transform the data first. Just load the the data which you need only, not everything, because you have to raw, because it's a raw data, right? It is of, it might be possible that it is on the it is the data what you require for your reporting, but in most of the times it's not the data which is required for for your reporting. You have to do some kind of transformation. So if you can see over here, right, it should be my headers, right, return, order ID, reason, but these are not promoted as my header, right? And let me see the orders table. I can see that this is the row ID, right? These are automatically converted as my header, right, promoted as my header, but for returns it's not. So what I can do, I can there's a step over here, use first row as header. Right, use first row. If I click that, now return would be over here, order ID over here, reason over here, right? If I want to, so let me show you like what all things do we have over here, right? This is the file option. Yeah, let's suppose we have done all the steps over here in Power Query Editor, and we think that now we can close and apply. We can close this window and apply, right? We can do it from here. If we don't want to close, we just want to, let's suppose I took some step. Let me show you, like let's suppose what I did. I just want to take the data for Caribbean region only, right? I click on OK, right? Everything which I do over here can be, is recorded as a M code over here, right? If I click on wrong, I would be on the previous step, right? And there's one more thing. Let's suppose I again do this, right? I can see the code, M code of everything which I did over here from here. Everything is recorded at steps over here. You can see my last step, filtered rows equal to table dot select rows equal to Caribbean, right? So everything is recorded over here. So if you want to see what's over here, like what's my data before this particular point, I can see that column 1, column 2, column 3, right? When I did this particular step, promoted header, it automatically promoted my header, and it automatically do this step based upon my data content on the page, right? It changed the type ABC, ABC, ABC. There are several other things over here. These are data types in Power BI. 1.2 is decimal number, right? I'll show it to in other thing. So in file we have close. If you don't want to apply whatever you have done the steps over here, you just click on close. Maybe you want to apply it later, because once you close it, let me do apply changes or discard changes. You have an option. Okay, if you click on apply changes, then it will be applied. Let me click on discard changes. I don't want to do that. Now it will say that you have changed orders, people, returns. I'll discard it. Let me go again. So let's suppose over there at the first point, I accidentally clicked on load, and I want to transform the data now. How can I do it? I just need to click over here, and then over here I'll be back to the window again, right? There are some options in settings from over here, like if you want to save the report, save as, right? Options. Let me move to option. These are different options which is available over here. That is also available in the file option in Power BI as well. We can discuss all these options later on, like what are those options. These are all related to the data loading, Power Query Editor, direct query, scripting. Basically the most important thing over here is the preview features. I believe that you guys already know that Power BI used to release its updates on monthly basis, or maybe on twice, in 2 months it will release, you will get an update from Microsoft, right? So most of the features are in preview. So once they find that the feature is tested by each and everyone and it is correct, right, and there would be no issue in that feature, then they'll roll out on the prod for every user, right? Or else they are something like they in the current, you can say, current update which was on March 1st or maybe on March 2nd, they have introduced error bars, right? So if you want to use that, you simply need to click over here and click on OK. Then you have to restart your Power BI desktop so that you'll be able to use the error bars, right? These are some of the features which are in preview for now. Okay, and the settings which you will change from global, it will be applicable to all the reports. However, the settings which you will configure over here, let's suppose update or detect relationship when refreshing the data, if you are doing anything over here, that would be applicable just for the current selected file, currently opened file. Okay, and let's move to the home now. Okay, this is the home. So over here, let's suppose you connected. So if you can see, I think that I need to connect it again. Okay, because I simply discarded everything right at that moment. So that is the reason my table was not imported over here. Let me do it again. Fine. Now you can see that I did everything right. All the three tables are in my query editor, right? And let's suppose this is just one Excel file, right? Maybe I have data on another Excel file, then I can again click on Excel workbook from here if for the new data source, or maybe some of my data in SQL Server, I can select the SQL Server and connect with it, right? And these are some other, sources of Power BI, through which you can connect your data. And if your source is not listed over here, you can select on click on more, right? A window will pop up and you can simply search your data source over there. If still that is not available over here, right, you can you can email the Power BI team and ask them to introduce your data source, or maybe then till that time as a workaround you need to search about how what are other sources on which you can output that data, and that source is connected with Power BI, can be connected with Power BI. So you have to do something like that in that way as a workaround. You can simply search your over here. Let's suppose I want to search Azure. So these are different Azure connectors available, right? I search SharePoint. You can see you can connect with SharePoint folder, SharePoint online list, SharePoint list, right? So these are the options available. So with new source you can do you can simply click over here. There is recent sources, so it will show you different recent sources you have connected so far, right? Global Superstore, financial reporting in Power BI demo. These are some of the files which I connected earlier, right? So you will get a list of all the recent sources. If your data is in a recent source which you connected in previous file, right, or maybe previous to previous file, all will be listed over here. Okay, and this is an option to enter data. You can manually enter any particular data over here, right? Let me do it for you. If I click over here, let's suppose I create a table called metrics. I'll do over here metric name. Okay, I'll give profits as metric name, sales, units. Okay, and over here I'll give sort index. Why that is needed in Power BI is just to sort the columns. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I click on low, okay, now it will create a table, and that table is manually created by me, right? I haven't taken the data from a data source. You can see metric name, sort index, profit, sales, units. Fine. And am I going too fast?
No.
No, no, Deepak.
Okay. So the data source settings is like where, let's suppose you connected with some of the files, right? So currently you are seeing just one data source, right? The other matrix is created by me, right? That is manually enter table. Let's suppose these three tables are coming from one source. I have another source which is SQL Server, right? Or maybe another Excel file. Then I'll see 2 points over here, right? 2 data sources over here and data sources in current file. I can select this if I need to change the source. Let's suppose my files are in a particular folder which is located in my desktop Power BI training material, and this is the file name, right? Let's suppose I copied this file, right, and pasted it somewhere else in some other location. Then I need to change the source of the file, else it will break because my file is not present in this particular location now, right? I need to make change to the data source. That don't search for the global superstore file from this particular location, search from somewhere else, because the file is now at somewhere else location. So I can change the location from here. Okay, got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And edit permission, so as this is currently on my machine only, right, I have all the rights. But yes, let's suppose I'm taking the data from SQL Server that is hosted on organizational premises, right? Then in that case maybe they change the credentials of the same, so I need to make changes to the edit permission, provide the credentials again. Okay, so as this is an Excel file, and that is the reason it is the privacy level is no, right? Else what would be the thing? It will prompt me to give my credentials over there, right? I can edit my permission over there if the password is changed. Clear permission if I need to clear the previous permission, and then I can click on, I can create another permission like reset, not reset, basically input my password and credentials again. Okay, global permission is not of much use for you guys, I believe, because that would be needed regarding if you are connecting with a web service, right? You connect it to a web page through web, and then you would require some permissions, but that is not always the case. Let me click on close over here. So what's the next option? This is the manage parameter, right? So manage parameter, you can create parameters over here in Power Query Editor, right? And you can change the parameters to restrict the data at the Power Query Editor level only, right? You don't want to get the complete data stored as a Power BI desktop PBIX file as a Power BI data set over there. You need to restrict the data, right, to just one country, or maybe let's suppose I believe we have this table, not this table, I think that is on. Okay, so let's suppose I just want to see the data for Caribbean only. Okay, I can filter this data from the parameter as well, where I have the option to select with multiple countries to pass the parameter. Whatever value I'll give in the parameter, it will just take the data for that particular country only. Okay, got my point?
No, Deepak. Could you please explain?
Okay, so it's a long procedure how to implement the parameters, right? Let me do it for you guys. Okay, let me do one thing. I think we have the parameter from here. There was some column called. Okay, let me do it for you. Let me first use the first thread header as row. Okay, so how we can create parameters over here, let me show you. First of all, what we need to do, we need, because I need to pass parameter on this particular region, right? Okay, I need to restrict the data on region level. What I'll do, I'll create just follow the steps. Add as new query, right? Now it will create a list, right? What I'll do, I'll remove the duplicates from here if there are any. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll go to the people, and before that what I'll do, I'll click on manage parameter. I'll click on new parameter. I'll put the name select region. Okay, over here I'll select text, I'll select query, I'll select region, this one which I just created, right? I can give any value as default for now. Let's suppose I type Caribbean. I click on OK, right? Now I can change the value from here as well. Manage parameter, through manage parameter. What I'll do now, I'll restrict my data in all the tables. I'll do over here, I'll click on equals. Okay, what I'll do, I'll select from here parameter. Now you can see my select region parameter automatically, popped over here. I click on OK, I click on orders, search for the column region. If we have over here anything called region, country, region, I'll do the same thing over here. Equals, I'll select the parameter from here. I'll go to returns. Let me first promote it as header, because okay, I'll go here, I'll text filters equals, select the parameter from here, select region. Okay, now let me load this table. Click on apply changes, let it load. So what I did, I didn't I restrict the data to Caribbean region only, right? I haven't imported the complete data set in my Power BI report as my Power BI data set. Why do we do this thing? Why do we pass parameters in Power Query Editor? It's just to restrict the data, because let's suppose this is just a very small file. Let's suppose we are having millions of billions of records, right? And we cannot, if there is a requirement to show data for each and every country, then we cannot do anything. We have to import completely. But yes, let's suppose there's some requirement from the client. He said that I just need to see one data only, and you want to reuse that report, whatever report you have created for one country to other countries as well. You can pass your parameters in that Power BI report, so that for each report you just need to make a change, which is, let me show you like how. You can see the data, which is the orders data. If you can see, let me show you the region. What region data we have? This is just for Caribbean, right? For people, we will get the data for Caribbean people only. Caribbean, right? In regions, we'll get the data. So this is the file which we create. This is the basically the list which we created. We should hide that in the data view. Let me do it. We don't want to see that over here. So you will not be able to see now the that particular list over here, right? So if I want to change the data, that parameter, I can do it from here. I just simply need to select. I want to see, let's suppose you created some visualization over here on the page, right? The same file will be used for other region as well. I select apply changes. Everything on the page, the visualization will show the result for the selected region only. The data set got changed. You can see from here. Just hide it, let it hide. I should hide it from there. You can see Eastern US data we are seeing. Over here as well, region is just Eastern US. Got my point now?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Is that clear?
Hey, boss, here I have a question.
Yeah, you have some doubt?
Here, you are extracting only Caribbean data, right?
We are extracting only.
Hello.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, now it's okay. No.
Yeah.
Here you are extracting only Caribbean data, right? By
No,
using
I changed the parameter.
parameters.
You can see I changed the parameter just now, right? Earlier I was extracting the Caribbean data, right? So from the Power BI desktop itself, I can edit the parameter, right? I click on edit the parameter. I want to see data for somewhere else. Just a second. Hello. हाँ जी सर. हाँ जी. सर आपकी आवाज कट रही है, एक सेकेंड. हाँ बोलो. व्हाट्सएप कॉल. हाँ ठीक है. Yeah, so the thing is that you can select any of the region from here and can see that. Just give me a moment. Hello. Hello. Good morning, sir. Can say. अच्छा. हाँ मतलब जैसे मैंने आपको किया था वैसे उनको भी कर सकते हैं. आपने रिपोर्ट पब्लिश करी? अच्छा. नहीं, आपको मैंने वो शेयर किया था ना, अपना वन ड्राइव का एक्सेस शेयर कर. हाँ 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 हाँ. हम्म. समझिए. हाँ. ठीक है. नहीं तो हमारी तो कॉल है ना सर, रघुवेंद्र के साथ कॉल तो है दिन में. आज नहीं है. 12 बजे थी वैसे. अच्छा, तो अभी थोड़ी देर में ले लेते हैं उनके साथ कॉल. अभी दिखा देते हैं अगर वो फ्री हैं तो. आप बात कर लो एक बार. उस टाइम ना हूँ फ्री, पहले हूँ. आपकी आवाज़ कट रही. हाँ मना कर दो, फ्राइडे को दिखा देंगे. वो मॉल स्ट्रीट वाली मीटिंग भी आप कह रहे थे, वो तो होगी. फिर सर देखना पड़ेगा, मैं देखता हूँ. मैं नहीं तो वो जो वाली फाइल भी है ना उसको भी मैं उससे कनेक्ट कर लेता हूँ, वन ड्राइव पे प्लेस कर देता हूँ अपने, और उस वन ड्राइव पे उनको एक्सेस दे दूँगा। या तो आप एक काम करो, आपके पास सारे एक्सेस है ना, तो वो वाली जो फाइल है ना, जो ओरिजिनल वाली फाइल है, उस फाइल को आप अपने वन ड्राइव पे डाल दो, और उस वन ड्राइव को आप शेयर कर दो मेरे साथ और उनके साथ, तो बाकी फिर कहीं भी कनेक्शन। हाँ जी, हाँ ठीक है, मैं करके फिर उनको भेज दूँगा। ठीक है, हाँ ऐसे बोल सकते हो। Yeah, sorry guys. So the thing is that I have the capability over here in the Power BI desktop itself. Are you guys there, or am I on
Yes,
mute?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So over here, like, you have the capability, you have different list of countries for which you have the data available in the source, right? From the Power BI desktop itself, if you want to, see the data for Northern Europe, what it will do, it will go to the source, right? And extract the data for your selected parameter only, and store it as a Power BI data set over here. Now got my point? You are not importing the complete data set, like you are not importing the complete data from the source, but you are importing the data for your selected parameter as a Power BI data set only. So let's suppose you have a data of let's suppose 10 million data, right? 10 million data rows for, let's suppose, 50 countries, right? And there is no requirement, your client is not asking to see the data for all the countries on a single page. He is interested in just one country, right? He want to see the country wise report. In that case, you can simply pass the parameter, right, in your report, and publish it into the workspace, because in the workspace, in the Power BI service as well, you have the capability to select the parameter and refresh the data set according to that, right? You can reuse your single report for multiple regions. You need not have to create rework for every particular region, and you are just importing the data which you need only, not the everything. Does that clear?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else having any questions? Any other questions regarding our session today?
Yeah, hi Deepak.
Yeah.
Hello. Here we have also another option is right. It's like filter what the data we want in data set.
You have that option, but what's the use of that if you are not able to change the filter in the Power BI service? Let's suppose you have to do all these things in the Power BI service, right?
Yes,
Over
yes,
here, like,
yes, yes.
what you
I
can
got it.
do,
I got it.
you can go to the,
Okay, okay.
but there are some steps which you need to follow. In that case, you need to go to the transform data, right? There you have to filter the data,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you have
Deepak.
to
No,
come
I'm
back to the Power BI desktop. You can do it like, if you are having a Power BI desktop file, you can do it. There would be no issue. But what about if you publish that report into the Power BI service, right? Okay, over there you cannot open the Power Query editor, right?
yes,
You
yes, yes,
cannot change the
yes,
parameter over there. You can change the parameter
yes,
over there, but you cannot open the Power Query editor and change your region, right? That is why it is important.
yes. That could be taken more time. Yes, yes, yeah.
Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up the meeting, our session today? Okay, guys, I think we can wrap up the session for today. And if you have any questions for today, if you have any doubt, you can simply, ask that over the group as well. I'll respond over there, or else if you don't want to ask on the group, maybe we can discuss it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you,
guys.
Deepak.
Bye.